What's up, guys? Welcome to Sports Magazine Collector. I'm Brad. I just finally got back my first submission from CGC that I sent in at the economy level. Let's go! All right, seriously, I'm stoked right now. So I've gotten a couple of returns from CGC before, but those were items that I had sent in walkthrough. This is the first time that I've gotten something back that was sent in at the lowest level. I don't understand how I got these because, like I mentioned in my last video, this submission that I just received was from I think October, and I've got a bunch that were sent in way before this, like going back to last April, going back a full year ago. So CGC, I don't really know what your method. I don't know the method to your madness. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason. I know tons of people are getting slabs back. I know there's still lots of old slabs, old magazines waiting to come back. I don't know, but I'm just happy that I got some, and the ones that I got specifically, pretty pumped about. So, going to share with you. Like I've said before, I don't have the patience to do those unboxing videos. As soon as I get that email from CGC that says your slabs have shipped, I'm clicking on that submission. I'm looking at the grade. So I've known for about a week what I had gotten, but I finally just got them in my hands. I mean, literally, FedEx was at my door about 20 minutes ago. So I opened them up, pulled the pop reports up, and threw my laptop here on the desk, and here we go. So let me share with you what we have. So I've only got three. All right, three slabs today, but they are three. They're all first covers, and in my opinion, they're all three pretty big time issues. So let's get this started. You got the new slabs. Oh man, this is what it's all about. This is the fun stuff. Okay, many of you collectors will immediately know what this is from the back. Probably the most recognizable back. So here we go. Michael Jordan first cover, CGC 3.0. All right. Terrible grade, but top three issue of all time, in my opinion. And it's a newsstand. You're going to take a newsstand in Michael Jordan's first cover, regardless of grade. This is the fourth copy that I have of Michael Jordan's first cover in newsstand. I now have a 3.0, a 4.0, a 5.0, and an 8.0. So yeah, I mean, this is the worst of the three in the box. So I think if you've got a Jordan first cover and that's the worst of your submission, you're doing pretty well. I mean, this cover was beat to hell. Actually, let me see. I meant to open up my projections because I did project my grades on all these, but I mean, not only were there spine ticks galore, there's just like tears on the back, but if you look real closely, it's got a stamp. It's got a library stamp. It says Morrisville Free Library. So that's kind of funny. I knew this one was not going to do well, but I knew it was a newsstand. And once again, you're going to want any Michael Jordan first covers in the newsstands. All right, so let's see. Here's my CGC tracker spreadsheet. Let's remind myself what I projected on these. So I projected this at a 4 or 5. Actually came in a little bit lower, but I mean, to me, there's not much difference between a 3.0 and a 4 or 5. So yeah, there we go. That's number one. Pop reports. Let's look at the pop reports. So this is these have not been added to the census yet. It usually takes a week or two for them to get it added into the census, but I think this is the 100th. This is going to be the 100th newsstand copy of Michael Jordan's first cover that has been graded. Because right now the pop count shows 99. There have been 99. So this will be 100. So it's going up. I think it was probably around, let me think here. Would have been June or July of last year when I did a video talking about the rarity of this issue in newsstand compared to the rarity of Michael Jordan's rookie card, his 86 Fleer, which, by the way, this is astronomically more rare than that rookie card. I think at that time there were like 38,000 graded copies of his rookie card. And at that time there were only like, I think, 84 graded copies of this. So now it's at 100. So, I mean, it's not going up a lot if you think about how much more attention this hobby has gained in the past, what is that, 7 months or so, and only 15 more of these or 16 more have come to be graded. So still, I mean, these things are really scarce. They are really hard to find in newsstand. There have been a lot of this issue graded in subscription, 154. I actually don't think it's very common for you to see issues that have more subscription copies graded than newsstand, because I think most people understand that the subscriptions don't carry as much value and they're not as worth it to send in to be graded. But with Michael Jordan, obviously he's such a popular athlete, um, and the newsstands are so hard to find that people are just sending in the subscriptions because if they can't get a newsstand in this, they at least want to have a subscription. So this is kind of a unique one. I don't think there's a ton like that. You may, I mean, probably a mantle or some of those other big vintage first covers. Probably there's more subscriptions graded on those as well. But there's 154 subscriptions graded versus now 100 newsstands graded, and 3.0, it's one of the lowest. I mean, I think of the 100 graded, like 95 of them are higher than this. But once again, I don't care. This is my fourth one. I kind of just consider these MJ first covers as like long-term holds. You know, that 8.0 is definitely my jewel. That's the one I'll probably always keep as like a personal collection item. Maybe one day I'll sell off some of these lower copies. But all right, let's move on to the next one. Like I said, doing pretty well if Michael Jordan first cover is your worst of the batch. All right, next up. Anybody recognize this back cover? The Jordan cover, by the way, was from 1983. This is from 1986. Mike Tyson, first cover, 9.2 newsstand. So this is now the second highest graded copy of Mike Tyson's first cover. That is pretty big time. And a few months ago, this would have been the highest ever. Someone had to go and pop a 9.8, and I know who has that 9.8, and gotta say I'm a little jealous. Congrats to him. He's got an amazing collection. So there is a 9.8, but after that 9.8, the next best was there were three 9.0s. And so now I've got the 9.2. So it goes 1 9.8, 0 9.6s, 0 9.4s, and then there's going to be 1 9.2. One of the 9.0s sold, I want to say, for $10,000 or $11,000, like in August. So now, at the time, the 9.0 was the highest grade copy. That 9.8 just popped up in the last few months or so. But yeah, this is pretty big time. 9.2 Mike Tyson. This is definitely going to go immediately into my long-term investment slash PC slash store this in a safe. This is not going to be one that you're going to see me displaying over my shoulder. Actually, I should probably pull that Kobe down off my shoulder because that's a Pop 101, none higher for a really tough variant. But this one's going to be getting stored, and I'll only be showing it off to my friends every once in a while. Pretty cool. All right, so pop reports for the Mike Tyson. There have only been 20 graded, so this will be 21. And yeah, like I said, I listed some of the other. There's a 9.0 signature series of Mike Tyson. That's pretty cool because the signature series are almost impossible to get in Sports Illustrated. When I did a video several months back, I think it was right around Christmas time, there had only been like 36 signature series Sports Illustrated issues ever. 36. And there's tons and tons of signature series on the comics because CGC does all these comic signings with, whatever. I don't know much about comics. The artists or the writers, I don't know, the Stanleys. I know he's passed away, but those people of the world, the Todd McFarlanes of the world, like they have those people come to the shows and do these signings all the time, and you can't get that signature series unless CGC witnesses the signature happening. So that's why for someone to have a 9.0 signature series that CGC witnessed Mike Tyson sign his first cover, that's huge. I mean, I'd probably rather have that copy than this one. So if I'm being non-biased here and being realistic, this is probably the third best copy out there of Mike Tyson's first cover. Obviously it is a newsstand. So very cool. All right. Last, a lot of people are going to say that the Tyson is the best of the three. And I mean, in terms of overall value, probably it is. But this last one is, to me, it's my favorite. This is the one I'm most excited about. This is one that is it's a top 5 all-time favorite cover for me. It is my favorite baseball player of all time. It is a first cover. It is a regional variant. It had yeah, let me just show you what we got. Okay. 2014 Yadier Molina 9.0. All right. So let's talk about this for a second. Like I said, this is Yadi's first cover. He only appeared on one. He only appeared on one Sports Illustrated cover. This is it. And as I mentioned, this is a regional variant. There were 4 covers that week. Yadier Molina, Masahiro Tanaka, the pitcher for the Yankees, Mike Trout, and Robinson Cano. Those were the other covers. There have been 4 copies of this issue graded, but the census doesn't break them out. There's a 9.6, an 8.0, a 7.5, a 7.0. So if you're just looking at the census and it shows, okay, there's a 9.6, it's like, how do I know if that, if this Yadi is this the best Yadier? Like, what are these? Well, I did some digging. I found that the 9.6 sold on eBay. It's like 6 months back, and it was the Tanaka. So since the 9.6 was Tanaka, and the other 3 that have been graded in the census are below a 9.0, that means that I can confidently say this is the highest graded copy in the world of Yadier Molina's first cover. It's a pop 1 of 1, none higher. So that's pretty awesome. Once again, he's my favorite player of all time. I'm a huge Cardinals fan. He's kind of a controversial athlete a little bit. If you're not a Cardinals fan, you very well may hate Yadier Molina because he was pretty fiery. He was pretty outspoken. Some people say he's overrated because, he didn't have the greatest offensive numbers in the world. He actually ended up, he came into the league as a defensive player. And when you go back and look at his body of work, he actually turned himself into a pretty solid offensive player. He won a Silver Slugger. He had a top 5 MVP. I think he had 2 top 5 MVP finishes. Ended his career with over 2,000 hits, which is actually very rare air for a catcher. So that's another thing to consider. His offensive numbers aren't great compared to the greatest hitters of all time, but when you compare him to catchers, his numbers are up there. He's not a Johnny Bench, he's not a Joe Mauer as far as hitting, but longevity, that was another thing with Yadier Molina. He's up there like in the top 5 for most innings caught, most games caught of all time. This was not a guy who transitioned to first base or the outfield. He played his entire career at catcher. Dude was just, he was a stud. His presence alone, I'm telling you guys, I've watched 80% of the St. Louis Cardinals games over the past 20 years. His presence alone was just a game changer, especially over these last 10 years. Once he kind of became that respected veteran, he was on 2 World Series champion teams. Just the way that he controlled the pitching, the pitching staff, no one could run on Yadier Molina. He just absolutely gunned down everybody. There's a stat out there where you look at the number of stolen bases allowed by each team from like '04 when Yachty came in to whatever 2022 when he retired, and the number of stolen bases allowed by the Cardinals is like half of the second least amount. So I think the Cardinals had allowed like, I don't know, maybe 700 stolen bases over those 20 years. The second least stolen bases allowed was like 1,400. And that was all because of this guy, because people were scared to run on him because they knew he was going to gun him down. And this is the Cardinals' first year without him in a long time, and they're really struggling. And this is something that people haven't talked about enough, in my opinion. I know that his bat was his bat was not adding anything these last couple of years, but once again, his presence, his defense, it made a difference. It made a difference in the clubhouse, and he's a first ballot Hall of Famer in my opinion. I'll be shocked if he does not go first ballot. If you look at defensive WAR on Fangraphs, which to me is a little bit more accurate than Baseball Reference, defensive WAR career all time, he has the highest total in MLB history. Second is Ozzie Smith. So that tells you what kind of company he's in defensively. So I could go on and on about Yadier Molina and why I think he is one of the greatest catchers of all time. But just from a Sports Illustrated collecting magazine perspective, this is awesome for anybody. Rare bird. So I think there's actually three times that Sports Illustrated used the headline "Rare Bird." Dennis Rodman. I think Dennis Rodman's first cover says "Rare Bird," and then there's also one with like Mike Mussina, and I think that one was "Rare Birds." It was plural. It was Mike Mussina and at least one or two other pitchers for the Orioles. I don't remember who else was on that cover, but another awesome thing is I mentioned how the census doesn't break these out, but you can see right here they actually took my labeling and it will now be broken out because they put Yadier Molina cover. So that's pretty awesome too. All right. I've been rambling. That's a long time to talk about only 3 covers, about only 3 slabs. But like I said, I'm pretty excited. I got the Michael Jordan first cover, CGC 3.0. Mike Tyson, that's now the second highest graded copy in the world with his first cover, 9.2. And this is the highest graded copy of Yadier Molina's first cover. So let me know what you guys think. I might be a little too excited because like I said, you just don't get these slabs back. I don't get these slabs back too often. It's been waiting forever and forever. So thank you for watching. Drop a comment, please like, please subscribe, and until next time.